Yo, what's good guys, been on fire here back from the video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys a quarterback run scheme in Madden 22. These are always a lot of fun to make, and these schemes always do well. You guys seem to love them a lot. So I'm bringing you guys another one for these good QB run schemes, especially the way that Ultimate Team's been going recently with the variety of QBs that we've seen released. Kyler, Jalen Hurts, and Derrick Henry, to name a few. Not limited to guys like Randall Cunningham as well, but we're going to be in Baltimore's offense. We're going to be running the gun normal Y off formation. Now, I know back in the day, some people used to run these two formations kind of together, but we're going to be focusing on the runs in this normal Y off heavy, and we got a ton of good runs. Starting out with this QB power in the middle, definitely is a solid run right there, and then you go up, you got a jet touch pass, which you cannot see because my camera's in the way, but take a look at that run on the right. It's going to be a fake jet pass power, one of the better runs. And then, of course, you got some fake jet passes, RPO right there in the middle, another RPO on the left, read option. Then you got read counter bash, which is what I have. So going through our audibles, power, fake jet pass power, read counter bash, and then we have the actual jet touch pass. Might go into some other things a little bit later. Of course, there are some good runs. If you want to see this in online play, let me know. You'll, of course, see some passes and some other stuff. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Now, of course, I think it kind of goes without saying that you would need a mobile quarterback for this scheme. If you're running regs, Kyler, Josh Allen, Lamar is where I would kind of keep it at. Guys like Hurts, guys like Dak, just not super good in regs. Also, before we get into the video, make sure you guys drop a big thumbs up if you want to see more of these schemes. Subscribe to the channel to be notified every single time I upload as well. Definitely can keep you in the loop with all of these offenses and all of the new meta switches in Madden 22. So we're going to start out with this fake jet pass power, which actually used to be a really good run play. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, but this actually used to be a really good red zone play. I think it was Madden 21, if I'm remembering correctly. And this was one of the better red zone plays. I think we saw this scheme a little bit in like the Draft Champions tournament, where I think it was Henry who ran this, but there have been other pro players who have ran this play before. I think in Draft Champs, he got Ravens offense. He was running like the bunch. He got in the red zone, and then this play showed up, and this is immediately where I kind of got the idea to run this play. But one of the better things about this is it's going to be really, really good, really effective against those formations like 2-4-5 odd, like dollar, that people like to run and get their little edge pressure. It's going to be really good against those. You see, you need the blocks to develop. So again, it's not necessarily going to work every single play. You can't sit here and say it's 100% going to give you 20 yards every play, but when it does work, it seems to pay off big. You see right there, you get in the open field, you can definitely do some cool stuff. If you have Derrick Henry at quarterback, which is what I'm using, this scheme is really, really good because Derrick Henry's rarely going to fumble the football. So you can get in the open field and run someone over, hit him with the juke move. If you're running regs or you're using like Kyler or Jalen Hurts in Ultimate Team, that's when you want to consider sliding, consider going unconservative ball carrier. Be smart with it. Don't spin into a Sean Taylor hit stick just because you're trying to make a play. You got to do the smart thing at the end of the day, and going on conservative is probably your better bet. But yeah, you get this little fake. Again, keep in mind we're only showing these 4 plays, but you're not necessarily only going to run these 4 plays, so keep that in mind that you'll be mixing in passes, you'll be mixing in audibles if you probably are running this offense. But you can definitely be patient in it. You see, kind of stop and letting the blocks develop a little bit, and that's exactly what's happening here. But yeah, man, it's probably the best run in the playbook, I would say, in the offense. One of the better reasons about it is just because you end up not only faking it to Kirk, but you actually end up turning him into a lead blocker, which can be very, very effective. He actually ends up lead blocking for you, and you see he opens up either gaps in the middle. Now, this is against the dollar formation. If you see big nickel over G nickel type formations, 2-4-5s, that's actually when you can potentially cut this back to the left. Now, not so much against this dollar, but a lot of times you can actually cut that back to the left, and there will be a gap open, so you don't have to go to the right every single time. Anyways, moving into our next run, it's going to be the quarterback power. Now, you'll notice something when you switch between the fake jet touch passes and the jet touch passes. to either the power or like a regular passing play. What happens, and this is something that's unfortunate, but it's out of our control, is these guys will shift ever so slightly. You see all three receivers, Rondale, AJ, and Christian Kirk, they will move a little bit. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it can be something that is noticeable. So generally, if I'm planning on running any kind of a fake jet, pass power or a jet touch pass, or the fake jet touch pass and turn it into like an actual passing play, generally what I'll do is I will come out in one of those if I'm going to audible. So I'll come out in like the jet touch pass play, and then I'll audible to this so that the wide receivers don't shift. Or if I'm planning on running the QB power, I'll come out in that, and then I'll audible to the read counter bash or a passing play, because generally you don't want to audible from like a QB power or a passing play to this fake jet, pass power. It's perfectly fine, but good players can catch on and see those different things. So that is something that I will warn you about. But here we got the QB power. Again, when you're running powers in this game, it's important to be patient, something that we did not do there. And I forgot to audible here, but yeah, just being patient, letting these big guys get in front, develop your blocks. The secondary might come down a little bit, might take away some of your potential one-play touchdown type things, but in the end, you're picking up more yards, and you can't really complain. So again, you'll let the blocks develop a little bit. Again, certain situations, it might be better just to run straight into the secondary, because again, with good defensive players in this game, you will see things like block sheds. They do happen, believe it or not, but you can also cut this run back, similar to the way that you can do it against 2-4-5 out of that fake jet touch pass power. So that is certainly an option to cut back, and I'll try and show it again here, this cutback that we can actually do. And it's a little bit tough with a design run where he's already starting to the right side. The other run is a little bit easier, I would say, but overall, it's a pretty solid run. And again, just QB powers. Kyler Murray doesn't have fast break. The fast break ability could potentially help on these QB powers. I don't think it really helps on the fake jet pass powers, if I'm not mistaken. It may be, I just am unsure of that, so I'm not going to spread any misinformation, but it definitely could be a possibility. But you see overall just picking up solid gains. You're going to force them to go to a bigger formation, switch to their nickels, switch to the nickel 3-5 wides of the world, and that is where you probably can pass the ball a lot better, because again, you can really just pick him apart. If he's in a 3-5 wide, he's playing heavy run defense, he's pressing down, spying the safeties, you're going to throw the ball. If he's sitting in dollar trying to send edge heat, you're going to run the ball straight up the middle. Now, another thing you can do with this QB power is you can actually flip it. So I've done this in the past. I flipped it, and you can actually motion over James Conner if you want. Again, flip the run, not the play. But this can work potentially. You would hope James Conner would pick up that outside guy. Because he's running to the outside, I guess he doesn't. We'll see if maybe IDing him helps. And this, one thing about this kind of formation that's weird defensively is you will see different guys kind of get free. So try and hang back, I guess. That concept works, again, better in nickel than this dollar formation. All right, so we're going to hop into the read counter bash. And this is just kind of a read option. You can run the standard read option, of course. You can run the standard inside zone, of course. But it's a QB run scheme. You're going to assume that you have a mobile quarterback. I will say that. Now, I didn't mean to flip it there, but one thing you notice just completely different is going to be, just take a look at all these guys that are going to pull. It's actually going to be the tackles. So you run the play, and it's both the tackle and the guard actually going. Kind of like it's a weird counter, and that's why it's called counter bash, but it is interesting for the way that the blocking dynamics do set up. You notice that, again, it's going to be DJ Humphries and it's going to be Justin Pugh, and they're both going to go over to that right side. So you're probably wondering, what does it ideally look like if you hand off the football? And of course, the guy you're reading is going to be Derek Barnett in that left defensive lineman spot. Of course, he'll do different things. So this time he's going to follow, you just hand it off, and we have bad blocking on the outside. They have good block shedding corners, so you won't really see it develop into a whole lot from this standpoint, but it can definitely be good, and it doesn't really have an effect. Even though you basically don't have a left tackle or a left guard in this situation, if you hand the football off, he's going to run straight past, and you should have a lane. You see, even with the bad blocking from the wide receiver position, we're picking up pretty much 5 yards a carry, and again, those are before falling forward, and in this game, you see that a lot. So again, this is what it looks like the blocks develop. You see you can almost get like 7 yards before contact. You get a good fall forward animation. You're in business. Now, we do want to see, hopefully Barnett does not follow, and that's another situation. Now, sometimes it is a little bit tricky. It depends formation to formation. This, of course, also works against the dollar formation, 2-4-5 odds, but if you're able to keep it with Kyler, a lot of times it's going to come down to that defensive end and really how he blocks, is being blocked. You see, it's really just coming down to Josh Sweat here. And again, just sometimes you'll get better blocks than others. Right there, you see them really do nothing. But you saw in that first play, we really broke it open. So again, just depends formation to formation. Depends statistically on how your guys are compared to other things. Here you see, again, it's blocked really well. It is a little bit tricky with the patience. So again, you got to be a little bit patient. I know it's a little bit difficult, and you see I was unable to do it there. But this run can definitely be good, and I would recommend trying it out. You'll probably have better success online than I'm having right now in the practice mode. Let's go ahead and move into our next play, which is going to be the jet touch pass. Jet touch pass, pretty simple stuff. You are going to just snap the ball, and he's going to simply run and get the ball, and then you can do really a couple of different things. This is another really good red zone play, especially if they're playing a compressed look, trying to stop an inside zone. You can really run this passing play really well. And especially with the user, it's a lot difficult because it could be a fake. You could be running with the QB, but you hand it off a lot of times. With this run, I'm going to go ahead and say that you want to get to the outside. You're not really going to try and cut this back inside, cut this back to the left. Get to the outside, try and win a little foot race with a linebacker or a safety who's already probably out of position. Even if it doesn't look like it, you're going to get James Conner to pick up a block for you or your halfback, and you should be able to still get there. Even on that one, it looked like, okay, this play's breaking down, but we stuck true to it, and you see the blocks developed in a favorable fashion for the home team, the offense here. If you do try and cut it back, I'll show you what it looks like. Your player just stops running. It's going to stop his whole momentum, and you know when you stop in this game, you have to go all the way up from square one, 0 miles an hour, all the way back up. Just not a good idea generally, so that's why we recommend getting to the outside. We don't get any of those terrible motions. You see he's already kind of running, and then you just keep your speed going. So it's pretty good if your wide receivers can hold up their blocks for just a little bit. You're going to be to the outside, picking up those 5-10 yard carries easily. And overall, it's a very cool offense, if you ask me. Just a lot of cool passing plays, cool motions, kind of taking in real life concepts. And yeah, man, this jet touch pass can be very good. A lot of these plays really good in the red zone. Even if you are running Ravens playbook, you're running bunch. Let's say you're running something else. I don't know what you guys are running out of Ravens. You're running a pistol scheme. This is a really good red zone scheme to actually run if you wanted to, but you can also take yourself down the field doing this, and it's a very good off-meta scheme. Hop into one more play here, though. Let's get into that. Now, the last play we have is the fake jet halfback seam, and you notice what I said about the audibling system. If I audible the fake jet pass power, perfectly fine. If I audible the jet touch pass, perfectly fine. No motion, no different stuff. Again, just that's the way you want to audible generally. Even though if you're playing a really good player, they might tell that these receivers are not all the way outside or the positioning. Most normal people will not really tell and won't catch on, especially if you're playing a bot anyway. But yeah, man, this is a good passing play. One of my favorite people to throw it to is actually Christian Kirk over here. Kind of later in the play, but it's really easy to throw it to him. This is a standard Tampa 2 defense, so we have cloud flats on those outsides. Darius Slay in a cloud flat specifically. And we can really throw this to Christian Kirk. Of course, we have Connor up the seams. If we can hit Rondale more deep. And you notice it's a really good play against cover 2. And keep in mind, we're not even on a hash mark. So this is from the middle of the field. And he was that open. Now if we move to the left, I would expect him to be probably even more open on that outside. So again, Connor actually, the way his little streak route develops, he's pretty dang good at bringing down that safety, or bringing him inside rather. And again, of course, the cloud flat's going to kind of bail a little bit later, so you can just pass it to the outside, and fast receiver, quick release, should be easy money against Tampa 2. If it is cover 3, that's where you get James Conner wide open. Now, this is cover 2, so we have a vert hook sitting right on it, so this is where, okay, we have vert hooks. We'll check it down in 8-9 yards right there, easy. So, very good passing play. I think this is the only pass play with the jet motion, but it is cool that you can still throw it to him. And again, if you want to wait, you can maybe fit in Zach Ertz over the top. Just depends on the coverage. Cover 3, I would expect him to actually probably be open. Now, again, you can't hot route out of this, which does kind of suck, because I'd probably put AJ Green on a little smoke screen, a little drag, something different, but maybe even a deeper post. But it is unfortunate, but it is what it is. You see, even against the vert hook, you still can fit in Connor. Cover 3 is going to be wide open early and late, though. So that's pretty much going to do for the video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up. Once again, subscribe to the channel down below for more of these schemes videos. Let me know if you want to see a gameplay. Of course, I mentioned that. And peace. I'm out of here.